Hey, what's up my friends, my name's Akila and today I'm gonna be showing you how to make this song.
And every second I waste is more than I can take. I become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this, all I want to do is be more like me and be less like you.
Well, I got the mixing session here, which I finished the project with, and we're gonna dive into Ableton and take a closer look at all the elements I'm using for Numb, together with my friends KARMA and Azault. It's out for about a week now, and yeah, I'm gonna be excited to show you the project right now. So let's go. So first of all, let's take a look at the project without any vocals in it, and this is just the instrumental track now. And you can see I got my drums labeled in yellow, I got my bass labeled in red, leads are like this teal kind of stuff. Anyway, when I mix stuff, I tend to color grade it separately, and I always color grade it the same way so I know where to start. And then I kind of sort it after importance. So the most important part goes on the top. As you can see here, drums is on the top, and then bass, and then leads. Then the instrumentals, atmospheres, we got a bunch of FX here. And for the vocals, I got some separate tracks over here. Keep in mind that these tracks are all bounced together into stems. Those are group stems. And it's like we do have like 15, 18 tracks now. And I think the project had about like 80 to 100 tracks in total. And I converted those 80 to 100 tracks. Let's take a listen at the drums first. I got the kick drum here, I got some shakers and percussions going on. Nothing really fancy, to be honest. I just did a low cut on the drum bass. Well, I separated the kick from all the other drums, and then I did a low cut on the drums. And some mastering, well, it's like a group compression thing on the whole drum bass. Let's move on to the bass. I always have to activate this record bus for the sound from the computer. My pardon. So this is like a little bit compressed and saturated bass. We got a sub bass going on, and then we got some percussion bass going on with those bum 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 notes, and yeah. I'm opening a cutoff in this small section. This is like the second verse. Then I got to leads. The leads are kind of heavily processed on the group as well. I got a Saturn here, like saturation. I got a more saturation, then some rectifier saturation mixed in parallel. So when you mix stuff in parallel, it's always nice to use an audio effect rack, and then you can just adjust the volumes to your likings. This rectifier here is doing some more tail for the leads. And then I did a low cut and some more EQing on some harsh frequencies to even it out in the mix. So all together. You can also hear some little atmospheres over here, like so. Those are playing in the drop as well, and just to fill up the empty spaces where the leads and the bass aren't playing. Then we got some FX, like some impacts, uplifters and downlifters stuff, nothing fancy. I didn't even process them on the track. Got a snare up. Just some rolling thing. I think in total it's like 2 snares layered together. They build up some tension before the drop. A little fill. think I added the fill to the drum group as well. And then we got the instrumental bass from the break. I did some heavy compression on those. I got the respace going on, and then I got some guitars which I played. Also some little atmosphere shots here and there. Really nothing fancy, so the whole track comes together with the vocals, which I'm gonna add now to the mix.
I'm tired of being what you want me to be. Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me.
Funny thing is, I can't even show you my vocal processing here because I did it in the other project. When I tend to mix stuff and master it to release, I often do it in like stages of more projects, so I can mix the vocals in a separate project to make it fit my needs. Also, it doesn't use up a lot of CPU power. So in this case, I have some reverb and compression for sure going on. And then I separated the vocals into like verse part over here. And then I got the drop part with some sidechain compression, which is a Kickstart 2. Not too much. Let's take a listen. If we listen to that in solo. You can feel the ducking somewhere. It's not too much, but it's alright. Also got some harmonies over here in solo.
I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you.
And then I also got some vocal adds here, like so. Just some nice little atmospheres to fill up the drop even more. Something more interesting happens in the second part where I add a vocoder. And I don't add the vocoder with 100%, I just add it as a separate track towards my main vocals, so I can get the vocoder a little bit in the background, but also have the main vocals standing out a little bit more. And last but not least, I got those like end vocals. I did the extended cut on this project as well, so it doesn't end here. On the radio edit it would end here, but I always bounce the radio edit first and then the extended one, because I have all the stuff in here for the extended version as well. Okay, let's take a look at the master chain in the project, and we do have some EQ who does nothing. Then we have a match EQ from another track, which was my mixing reference, and this was Won't Let You Down by Matt Nash. Then I got some more imaging going on. So I'm just checking that the sub frequencies are fully mono, and then I enhance the mid frequencies a little bit and also the highs, and I check the phase over here. Always remember, when it's going to +1, +1, you don't have any phasing issues in your track. Then I do have a compressor. Feel free to steal my settings here. It's just a mastering compressor and also another one. One has a little bit higher of an attack and the other one has a little bit lower of an attack to get the transients pumping even more, and then also the sustains pumping even more. I've added some saturation in the mid frequencies, and I also added a Gullfoss EQ with 10% recover and 14% tame just to even it out in the frequency spectrum a little bit. And then there is one limiter going into another limiter. The first one is just cutting off the edges, and the second one is making it really loud. And in between, that's just a little trick I'm always doing, I got a utility where the gain is automated, so I can get the drop to sound louder and the verse to sound less loud in the mix. Because as you can see on the drop, I have 0 decibel added, and in everything else, well, actually everything else but the drop, there is like minus 122 decibel, so it doesn't peak into the limiter as hard. It gets more dynamic and not as squashed as in the drop, obviously. And the drop needs to be powerful, so that's the way to go. For me at least, it works. And all in all, we are at like minus 6 lufs, which is alright. I mean, it's definitely not very nice for Spotify because it gets compressed a little bit, but it's alright. You can play it in clubs with this kind of loudness. And overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the mix. Retrospective, if I would do something else, I would probably use another Oxford inflator to make it a little bit more saturated and bump out the hi-hats even more, but that's just personal preference after listening to it for like 10 times in a row. You can then hear what you would do better in the future, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with the mix. So that was a brief summary of my track Numb with KARMA and Azault. If you like what I do, and if you want to see more of my stuff, how I mix stuff, how I produce stuff, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment somewhere, and hit the like button if you want to see more. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.